This is John, live from somewhere on the Regents Canal. I look about 87 in this, on this shot for some reason. It's been a long lockdown, what can I say? And I think maybe I need to clean this thing here. So yeah, I'm in my kayak. Let me just see if I can. I really don't want to drop this in the water. So I'm in the middle of the Regents Canal, somewhere in East London. Hi Claire. And I thought I'd experiment with a Kayakcast. My original idea, I sent out an email yesterday on the 1st of May saying I'm going to spend May answering as many people's questions as possible about how to start a business. And I've got dozens come in. And I'm going to put my glass on because I can't see people's comments. And I thought I might have a go at answering some of them. And why not answer the first one in a boat in the middle of the water? Let me just flip around and show you the view here before I do that though. It's quite pretty, really. It's busy out here. There's quite a few people on the towpath. Lots of joggers running past, people panting without a mask. People looking like they're having some kind of party over there. And it's quite a nice day today. Emma says, like the beard. That's good. There's one fan. How are you doing, Cyrus? So, yeah, it's only my second trip ever out on the kayak. And rowing is quite hard. It's quite hard work. And I'm getting a lot of water on my legs here. So maybe my kayak coach will start watching this, David Barker, and tell me what I'm doing wrong. I need to go Google it at home. Oh, hi, Sam. And find out how to row in a kayak. I'm literally going to YouTube that when I get back. Anyway, I had a question. So let's try this crazy idea of answering business questions in the middle of an inflatable kayak, in the middle of the Regents Canal, while taking on water and having quite wet legs. First question, right, is kind of related, so this is why I thought I'd choose this one. And somebody, I've forgotten her name now. I think it might have been Claire, I'm not sure, I can't remember. Somebody asked, what do I do about the fear of failure? There is a giant swan over there, and I'm hoping that he or she is in a good mood because they can be a bit violent, apparently. So, seems to be pretty chilled at the moment. I'm on a bit of a collision path with it. Anyway, I'll let you know if it attacks. So yeah, she said, what do I do about the fear of failure starting a business? Like if I tell everyone I'm doing this thing, it's really fear of embarrassment and fear of like, if I tell everyone I'm doing this thing, like what happens if it doesn't work out? Which is quite a good question. And I think lots of people have this question. And I think fear of failure is a huge thing that stops people starting a business. And there's a couple of reasons why I want to kind of address that. And it's relevant to sitting in the middle of the water in an inflatable kayak while answering this question. And I think that, first of all, I think we set ourselves up. So we think that there's a lot more at stake than there is. So people imagine the way you start a business, like it's really major and you have to, immediately spend a lot of money and dedicate yourself to it and it either succeeds or fails. But in actual fact, in the early stages of business, usually you can start without a lot of expenses. We no longer, for most businesses, we don't need to have an office and staff and funding and all that kind of stuff. And you can just start by helping somebody. So if instead of announcing to your friends, I'm doing this thing, don't announce to all your friends if that makes you feel uneasy. Just go out and help somebody with something and provide some sort of service, assuming you don't have to build some elaborate website or, let's assume you're not setting up a manufacturing plant or something. Just go out and help somebody. And then if they like it and people give good feedback to you, keep doing it again and again. And before you know it, you'll have a business. And then you can kind of sneak up on your friends and go, oh, by the way, I don't know if I told you, but for the last few months I've been doing this thing. It's going really well. And they go, oh, really? Wow, that's amazing. So if you approach it that way, it's a lot better. But I think the other thing is, and that's relevant to the kayak, I'm going to crowbar this kayak into this thing somehow, is that, and I'm feeling slightly self-conscious because I've just realised there's some people sitting on the boat over there. And I don't like to be heard when I'm stupid Facebook lives, because that's how I feel when I'm doing it, is the willingness to do things that feel uncomfortable, like doing like carrying a 9-foot kayak. It's shoving it in a lift, first of all, carrying it out of your apartment and down the street, half a block, and round the corner, sticking it in the water and having everybody watch you as you blow up your life jacket, even though you don't strictly need one, and then get in the boat and work out how it works. And if you're willing to do that, which apparently I am, at least for some things, it's amazing what you can achieve in life. And there's a quote by somebody who must not be named because he's now turned out to be a despicable human being, but it's a rather good quote. And somebody might know who this is, who said, decide that you want it more than you're scared of it. And I think also decide that you want it more than you're worried about being embarrassed. And in actual fact, there was this brilliant quote in a book called The Pathfinder. I think I quoted it in my first book, maybe the second one. And this guy said, if you're able to withstand embarrassment and, uneasiness and being visible and being disappointed and rejected, you become an almost unstoppable force of nature, because most people don't do that. And if that's not something you do naturally, then you build it like a muscle. So what you do is you try little things. You try things. I don't know what's... For some things, starting a business is really scary, but I don't know what. Carrying a kayak down the street doesn't bother them in the slightest. Or for some people, different things make different people uneasy. So if you need to, just start with something really small and do that. One of the examples is when I started this event, Scanners Night. It went on to be very successful. It got into the Daily Mail and the Daily Express, Red Magazine, and some other magazines, organically, without me trying to do clever PR stuff, because I was too disorganised to do that. It made a little bit of money, made like £1,000 a month. I could have made more out of it if I'd bothered to, but it wasn't my main focus. And the way it started, though, was I just decided I wanted to meet people like me, creative people who find it difficult to focus, otherwise known as scanners. This is a term from Barbershire. And so I put something on a notice board for scanners saying, do you want to meet up in London at the ICA bar? I've told this story a few times, but probably most people haven't heard it. And I had 6 people come along. One person was a client, one person was a friend, and a handful of other, randoms off the internet. And that was our first ever Scanners Night. I didn't charge for it. I think it was just us having a chat. And I ended up doing it every month. I ended up getting talks, getting speakers, having good venues, charging money, turning it into a membership program briefly. I was a bit sort of half-assed about that. But it could have been my main source of income if I wanted to. I felt ambivalent. I had there were other things I wanted to do. And so that's a nice example of how you don't have to announce to all your friends, I'm doing this amazing event that's going to be massive. You just say, do you want to meet up and talk about this thing? Or I got this person who's willing to give a talk. Does anyone want to come along? And maybe you do it for free. Maybe you charge a token amount. That's all, really. So for the person who's asking about what you do about the fear of failure, reduce the likelihood of failure, first of all, by scaling down what you're doing at first, finding a way to do it really small. And secondly, build that muscle of just being willing to be a little bit embarrassed. Because it is a superpower. When you're willing to do things that have the potential to make you look like a complete idiot, it's quite freeing. And doing a Facebook Live where other people on the bridge watching you going, what is this guy doing, is one of those moments. So that's my little insight for today. And I don't know how much more I want to row because it's quite hard work. I'm clearly using some muscles here that I do not normally use. But it's a nice day. I feel like I might do a little bit more. And before I go in, that's the basin there. This is looking east towards Victoria Park, and the opposite way. Why don't I turn around a little bit and you can see the view there. The sun's gone down now, so it's no longer blinding. Look at this, I'm rowing in one hand now. How impressive is that? So this is the view looking west. It's not very attractive at this end, terribly. But a little bit further up there is Islington, and it gets pretty if you go a bit further up there. But you've got to go past the lock, which means I'd have to take the boat out, carry it up the hill, just stick it at the other side of the lock, and I don't think I've quite got the energy for that today. But it was this good second trip out on my kayak. I'm building my kayak muscles. Hi Graham, you're a pro, so Sam. Sam inspired me with her daily Facebook Live, so I might try that for a little while. Cool look, says Myrna. Hi there, how are you getting on? Graham, Mary, John Perkis. John Perkis, who's one of our first speakers, was certainly a speaker at the event I mentioned called Scanners Night. I don't run that anymore, but that was good fun while we were running it. Okay, well, I'm going to finish now, and I hope you're all having a nice weekend. I'll see you later.